After the premiere of America's Got Talent Season 20 last week, where we had 2 golden buzzers, we are back for week 2 with even more incredible talent. We had variety, singing, but it was quite singing heavy, I must admit, this week. But we had also a great amount of variety to singers, a dance group, and also Mel B hit our first golden buzzer of the season for not only, I think, the best actor already of the season, but also my favourite actor of the entire series so far. So, we got a lot to talk about in this week's recap and review of America's Got Talent Season 20 for Episode 2. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So, as you guys know by now, last night was the Episode 2 of AGT Season 20. We're already on Episode 2, with last week being the big premiere, and it was another really good episode as well. I wouldn't say it's the strongest episode, maybe compared to last week, but I still really enjoyed the acts, and we had a good amount of variety. We had some acrobatics, we had some dancing, we had some singing. Quite a few singers, as actually also a band was on the show as well, which was very cool. And also, like I mentioned, Mel B hit her golden buzzer for the first time this season, and it already might be my favorite actor of the entire season already. So which we'll get on to a little bit later on in the video. But I think without any further ado, we should just get straight into the recap of the episode. And kicking off the show, we had, if I'm doing this right, so the first act of the night we had, not this one, go back a space, I was getting too far ahead of myself there, sorry about that. So the first act we had was Tanny, who is a drone operator hailing from Japan, and he was on Britain's Got Talent last year, and was sent home during the audition stages. And also in 2025, he actually broke the Guinness World Records for the greatest distance mini basketball shot from a drone in a hoop held in the mouth, by achieving this in a 2.36 meters. So that's pretty impressive. And he's done other stuff as well, which is quite a lot to take in, which we won't get into right now. But we got to talk about his performance, and it was, even though it kicked off the episode, it was arguably the worst act of the night as well, to be honest. So he did a variety of drone tricks to Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now." Absolutely love that song. And the one of them was, the first one he did was like a golf course, like with like a golf club, and try to get the golf ball into the hole, where you play golf. The other one was a bit of lipstick, which he attempted to put on. Then he got out a cutout Simon Cowell, where he attempted to put a beard on, and then he had the glasses, which just about made it on as well. So that was that. It was kind of, honestly, normally the Japanese could come up with the most random acts imaginable, and I've always said this. And Mel mentioned that his aim was off, and he would never get that. He would get those two because Howie and Simon enjoyed it. 3 minutes back in my life, of her life, basically. But Simon actually mentioned that. Simon mentioned that it was funny and original, and how we said it was clever how we used technology. I also said he had a great amount of control to it, which, to be honest, I agree with Mel. To be honest, it really wasn't that great. Like, so, I think he was even missing, like he was even failing some of the ones. Like the first one, so like it took forever. So yeah, that's that, and it was just. It was just a really poor act. It made no sense. It just didn't work for me. And it's to the point it felt like, what on earth am I watching? Like, because sometimes, like I mentioned, the Japanese could come up with the most random acts imaginable, and I even can't get my head around them sometimes. So this was, while we kicked off the episode quite funnily fashion, it was arguably the worst act of the night, and just. Yeah, it was not a good act at all whatsoever. So sorry, Tanny, but you won't be going through to the next round whatsoever. So because you're now limited. But anyway, let's move on to the next act, and that was City Limit, who are an R&B vocal trio from Tennessee. It includes 2 twin brothers, which are Marion and Ate, and their first cousin Dree. and they were all raised alongside the twins' 12 siblings, and they formed this group at the age of 12 years old. Other points to mention out that they actually were on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and they've worked with music producers like Troy Taylor, Tricky Stewart, etc. And they've also performed with Trevor Jackson's opening act in his most recent Eight City tour, which is quite interesting. And let me tell you, this performance was just. I mean, this is the first group we've heard this season already, and it really might be my favourite as well, if that makes sense, because these guys were just amazing. So they performed a rendition of "All My Life" by Casey and JoJo, which I absolutely love that song. It's such a superb song, and honestly, these guys just absolutely blew me away with their vocals. And I feel like we should like this. Really gave me a vibe. It really gave me strong boys to men vibe with this type of song and type of performance. And I felt we should have more of. We should have more of this music back in the industry. As not only these guys for me, individually had great voices, but the harmonies and the sound that came together when they sang the song, like the choruses together, it was just pure heaven, absolute heaven. Honestly, just it suited their voices so well. And they even mentioned they did this song for Mel B. They even mentioned they were dedicated to her, which was pretty cool. And you could tell Mel B was absolutely loving it. She even mentioned that she was rooting for them and wanted them to succeed. Sophia mentioned that she loves seeing siblings coming to the stage, and Simon mentioned that there's nothing better than working with a band that works. Oh, excuse me. Right, tired today. But anyways, I totally agree with what the judges were saying. Not only they got great voices, but also the fact it's a group of like relatives. It's the two twins and a cousin. It makes it even more better, in my opinion. And I really did. I honestly, I loved it. I absolutely love these guys already. Just they absolutely were just superb. I'm wanting them to do well in the competition. I can definitely see them having a getting supported by the public, and I would love to see them make the live shows. Actually, especially because with that song of Casey and JoJo, I would honestly love to see them do like a Boys to Men song, like maybe Water Runs Dry, maybe End of the Road. That would be a really good one. So maybe those are the two songs that really come to mind as of right now. So yeah, I would love to see them see them make it far, as I really did enjoy this performance. So I this was the definite yes for me, and I'm hoping we see them go long term in the competition. And next up, we had Amanda, who is a sports trick shot act from Dallas, and she's a influencer middle school teacher from Dallas, Georgia. And so basically her performance included her where she basically did like trick shots from hitting three different targets with like American footballs like you see in the NFL. And if you guys watch the NFL, you know what I mean. But she did that, and she did it within 3 minutes in three different locations. So the first one was near the judges, like near Howie. The other one was near the back of the aisles of the corridor where she did it, and the other one was on the balcony. So the other one was like at the very where the balcony is, where like the upper seats are, and she did all the way and she did all of them in under 3 minutes, which was very impressive. Um, Also, Terry mentioned that it was incredible. It was unbelievable what she did, and he was even what pressing the stopwatch. She was even checking the time of it, and it was you know. Excuse me, I'll be back in a second, folks. I need to back in a minute. So, like I mentioned, so Howie mentioned that he's a girl dad, and he was thrilled and he mentioned that she sets a really great example and was incredibly inspirational. And so I mentioned it was really exciting, which I definitely agree with. I definitely found it very exciting, especially what she's able of doing is really good as well. You know, doing the trick shots, you know, especially from far distances, you know. And when she did it on the balcony, I was like, "There's no way she's gonna like." There's no way she's gonna like do it all the way to the edge, like the top of the balcony. I was like, no, 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 no. So like, I'm very glad that she actually did all of them in under 3 minutes. And I mean, I don't know if this will make the live shows. To be honest with you, I feel like this is like a one trick pony, if that makes sense. But of course, we'll see what happens. But what she was able to doing, I've got to give credit to you, Amanda. You did very good here, and I can't wait to see what you bring next time. But again, at the same time, I don't know if this is an act I would see in the live shows, but of course, we can always find out a bit later on when they happen this August. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. It was a good act overall, so I did enjoy it. And then we had Kid Clippers, who are a dance group, who are a bunch of kids who are a dance group, and they basically are the youth division dance group who represent the LA Clippers National Basketball Association team. And as a direct result of this, they basically do perform during the halftime shows whenever they perform, where the actual actual basketball team actually um, plays basically. So their performance basically consisted of them doing a hip hop dance routine to DMX, "Get It on the Floor." Again, I've never heard the song before, so I wouldn't know what the song is or who it was by. I wouldn't have had the slightest idea. But I really actually enjoyed this performance, especially because they're kids as well. For kids to be performing at the age, they're like, how old are they? They're like, don't know how old they are, but I really, really enjoyed this performance. It was a really fun, and you can tell they're having the time of their lives up there, which was really lovely to see. Um, basically, Sophia said that she had a feeling they would be good, but she didn't expect them to be that good. Harry mentioned it was better than any other group he's ever seen for young kids. Mel said it was brilliant, and Simon said it was exactly what they were looking for a dance group, which I can definitely get behind. You know, especially for young kids to be able to and to have the confidence as well to do a dance routine like that. Like that, it's very clever. It's very good as well. So I give them props to them. But this is another. I don't know if this will make it to the semi-finals, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did, if that makes sense. But you know, again, this is for me is like a could go either way. To be honest, it could kind of go either way if that makes some sort of sense. But you know, I'm intrigued to see what they bring next time, and we'll go on from there. But it was still a very solid audition overall. Then we had the TT Boys, who are an acrobatic duo from Ethiopia. Um, they're basically an acrobatic duo, and they've been performing acrobatics the last 20 years worth of their lives. And they started performing at the tender age of 3 years old. So, good little background there from them. And honestly, these guys were absolutely blew me away. So the TT Boys basically did a acrobatic routine to the scores rush. So basically, they had one guy, which was this guy here, laying on the platform, and this guy basically did like somersaults on his legs, basically doing flips in the air multiple times. Then they even took it to the judging table where they had the platform over there as well, and they had the judges over there, and basically did the same routine basically like they did on the stage, and it was just breathtaking to watch. Simon mentioned it was incredible, and Mel B said this perfectly. I was just going to say the exact same thing. This was literally off the chain performance worthy. It was just amazing to watch. So then also Harry mentioned that it was jaw-dropping brilliance, and Sophia mentioned that she couldn't even imagine the amount of work they must have taken, and it was spectacular. And I agree with all the judges' comments here without a question. It really was a work of art, in my opinion. It was so good. It was just. This is the type of acts I'm looking forward to see on AGT. Something exciting, something different, and something I think would be perfect for Vegas. These guys have that all written up written all over them, and it really was a spectacular first audition. And I could definitely see these guys being contenders for the live shows. I mean, so far I think. I mean, it's only 2 episodes in, and I already think they are guaranteed locks to go all the way to the live shows. I would be amazed if they don't, because this really was an absolutely fantastic first audition. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do next, as I think these guys could have some serious potential. I cannot wait to see what they do in the live shows. And then we had Cole Swenson, who is a singer and is aged 23. He's from LA, and he's been playing the small LA venues ever since 2021. But he's always had a dream of being on AGT. And he's basically inspired to take up music by his dad, who was a violinist, and his mother, Judy, who actually performed with him alongside him. He also took piano lessons at the age of 12, but changed lanes and began playing the guitar. And he still plays it to this day. And then Judy basically gave up her dream of pursuing music so she could raise her son. And so his performance basically included him doing Coldplay's "Viva La Vida," but it was like in a very slowed down rendition, like a ballad version of the song, which I really liked. I mean, coming from someone who loves that song as well, I'm a huge fan of the song. Viva La Vida is such a great song. Coldplay is such a talented group, and I actually really liked this performance. Actually, it was a really nice performance. Mel mentioned that he has a really distinctive tone to his voice. Harry mentioned it was that to see love element on the stage like that, it warmed his heart and it just exploded. And so I mentioned it was a great audition, and especially having his mum there with him, which I do have a bit of an opinion on this, if I'm honest here. So I will say this: there's no doubt in my mind he's got a really nice voice to him, and seeing his mother perform alongside him was also really beautiful. As you could tell, how you can tell they have such a huge bond between each other, and especially father, mother and son, absolutely beautiful. I did like his voice, and the rendition I thought was really nice, but I think that but for me, his voice sounded a bit generic in my opinion. Like, it was still nice, but it didn't necessarily blow the house down. Which one of the acts, kind of the singing acts, did early on, which we'll get onto in a bit. But at the same time, it was a very nice performance, and so far it's got 2 million views already, which is crazy. So I could definitely see him being maybe. I could definitely see the public getting behind him and being a dark horse for the competition. But he'll probably make the live shows anyway. Oh, hang on, my microphone is just. Give me a second, folks. All right, sorry, folks. My mic literally just cut out. I have two mini mics I'm using this video. I think one of them maybe I must have switched it off by mistake, but I'm using my second one just in case it did run out of charge. So I'm just charging up right now. So normally these videos aren't that chaotic, so I apologise in advance. But back to their performance, like I mentioned, I feel it was a nice performance, but it didn't necessarily blow me away in a sense, but. And also, oh yeah, I was going to say, he's currently got 2 million views on social media, on YouTube to be exact. So I wouldn't be surprised if he made the live shows whatsoever. But, it was still a nice performance regardless. And I still, I still enjoyed the performance. It was nice. That's all I can really say about it. It was just nice. And then we had probably the most scary act of the night, which was the Phobias, who are a magic horror duo. They made to the final of the Italian competition. I might mispronounce this, so I apologize in advance. Tu Sequivalis. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, and it's actually an Italian competition. So I assume it's like Got Talent, like Britain's Got Talent. So I mean, if anyone's out there watching from Italy, let me know in the comments. Is this show basically like Got Talent, or is it like a completely different talent show? I'm very curious to hear. But anyways, so basically it includes 3 people: David, Pepe, and Vanessa. So basically, it basically consisted of a magic routine where basically firstly one of the clowns came out with a bunch of balloons, and they basically had one judge each to choose a balloon of color and then pulled the string as hard as they could, where they all popped, and removing one from their mouth, which was connected to a hook, like an actual hook, like an actual meat hook. Then a second member appeared basically appeared alongside Simon to basically kind of scared him, basically. So that was quite funny to see him get scared. Then a third member appeared within the box located on the stage, and seemingly removing a long chain of ribbons within the member and of the trio, and seemingly impaling a member of the trio before basically appearing to Harry Mandel, where he pressed his buzzer, but it didn't count because he didn't press it. But Harry did get quite scared by the whole act as well, which was quite entertaining. Okay, I will say this. Um, Simon mentioned while he hates clowns, he thought he was brilliant. Again, and yeah, both Mel and Sophia thought it was brilliant, but Harry was quite scared to speak, so it was quite. But I will say this: normally, I'm not a fan of these like magic horror acts, but I actually thought this was a very exciting act to watch, and I feel like compared to most horror acts, they actually focused more on the magic itself, because we've had acts like, for example, the Forest of Haunts from last year, who, in my opinion, were kind of focused more on the let's say the horror aspect compared to the actual magic, if that makes some sort of sense. But with these guys, I thought I could tell there was in the magic. I felt the magic was more appealing, if that makes sense, compared to some of the other horror acts we've had over the years. So I really enjoyed this act. Actually, it was entertaining. It left me on the edge of my seat throughout the performance, and yeah, I really enjoyed this I really enjoyed this audition. Now I will say, will these guys make it through to the live shows? Personally, I kind of hope they don't, just so I don't get creeped out again. But I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did make it through. But but we have to wait and see what happens later on in the line. Because again, but at the same time, I will not be surprised if they did make it through to the live shows. Next up, we had Girish and the Chronicles, who are a rock band from India, and of course, the lead singer is called Girish. And they've been around for over 16 years, and they've dreamed about performing in America. They've had albums out, and I think from what I've heard, they've opened for Guns N' Roses. Apparently, I'm not too sure, but let me tell you, if I had to base this episode on who I thought got the biggest reaction of the night and how much the audience appealed to them, this was definitely one of those acts. So they basically sang a rock version of Adele's Set Fire to the Rain, which is, I love that song. And let me tell you, they absolutely tore the house down with this performance. It was so good. Also the lead singer's voice is just sensational. Like, the range he was hitting was mind blowing, but also each member is also really talented. Not only the singer, but the guitarist, the drummer, all the members, all four members in this group are so talented, and I absolutely love this version. Mel mentioned that they were her favorite act of the season so far, and Sophia said that she loved it, and it sounded amazing, surprising, and and Simon mentioned perfectly that you can't fake a reaction, and you could tell the audience absolutely loved them. So, and I did as well, especially coming from someone who loves seeing rock music on the show. The bands I remember, the last bands we had on the show were Steel Panther and True Villains. But while I love both those rock bands who were on 2023, these guys have just took the whole band to a whole new level in terms of the bands, like rock bands we've had over the years. It was just so good, especially the version. The version of the song was great. The looks are great. The sound is great. Every single member are so talented, and I absolutely loved this whole performance. It was so So good. It was such a great before audition, and I would love to, again. I would love to see him in the live shows, especially to have some heavy metal in the lives would be so cool. And yeah, I could definitely see the public getting behind them. So I cannot wait to see what else they bring. When I basically can't wait to see what they bring throughout the season. So I cannot wait to see what they bring. Later this year. So good luck to them, and I hope they make the live shows. And honestly, I think as right now, I'd be shocked if they weren't in the live shows, and I thought they were just chef's kiss. Honestly, I love them. My bias may be showing here, but I absolutely love them. Then we had Mel B's first Golden Buzzer of the season given out to the juggling duo themselves, the Masaudi brothers. And knowing this was my favorite act of the whole night, no, the best. I'd say not only the best act of the whole episode, but I think of the my favorite act overall of the entire season so far. And we're only 2 episodes in, but I just thought these guys were so amazing. So for all you BGT viewers out there, you may recognize these guys as they were on Britain's Got Talent last year and made it all the way to the semi-finals. And what they're able of doing was in this audition was just amazing, just incredible. So um, let me get them up. So they basically did a juggling routine between themselves. So they basically got swords out, like actual swords. Or not, it wasn't swords, it was the knives. They were knives. And they were basically starting juggling back and forth for the knives. Then they started taking off their shirts, basically then juggling between the two. Then they slowly started taking off their clothes and then juggling between the pair. And then of course they took off their boxers, which actually had the American flag on the other boxes. That makes sense. So they weren't completely bare, but they like it was still so cool. And then after they did that, they started keep doing. Then they literally started to put the opposite clothes back on each other, which made this act even more impressive. It was just like it was so exciting to watch, so unique, so exciting, and a well-deserved golden buzzer as well. Simon Ford said it was breathtaking, and he also called it a moment. Howie said it was incredibly dangerous. Sophia said to see how hard it was made it even better. And Mel B said they were perfect, and she pressed the golden buzzer for them. Which this was such a well deserved golden buzzer as well, if I say so myself, because normally, like, it's only episode 2 already, and I think I might have found my favorite actors the whole season so far. As they were just amazing. Like normally juggling, I find a bit boring, especially if you're just a basic juggler, but they took juggling to a whole new level. Not only like it was impressive over what they were doing just with their normal clothes on, but when they started taking them off, switching it between the pair, and literally like doing like just and then putting the opposite clothes back on as well as juggling those knives, which it was just mesmerizing to watch. Like this is an act I could totally see in Vegas. It's another I could potentially see making it all the way. I want to see this act go as far as it can. It's so exciting, so intriguing, and I would pay money to go see these guys in Vegas. I think they're such a thrilling, exciting, unique act. And it's something different. We've not had a juggling act like them on the show before, which is I think is just awesome. So this was such well deserved Golden Buzzer, and I cannot wait to see what they bring in the live shows later this year. As I just think they're just amazing. I just think they're just amazing, 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 amazing. And literally, like Mel B said, I thought they were just literally off the chain. This was such a great performance, and for me, this was the best performance of the night. Especially just seeing such a unique act on AGT that I don't think we've had before on the show. It made it even better. So I absolutely loved it, and I really hope they make it as far as they can in the competition. And then we had the final act of the night, which was Alex Zinger, who is a dancer, and he had about 6 backup dancers with him. Now he was actually on season 19 last year, and he didn't get through to the live shows. He got buzzed off, and he got 4 no votes. But this time he came back, and he actually had 6 backup dancers behind him, which was pretty cool. And he basically did a dance routine to Hadaway's "What Is Love." I love that song. and of course he had the backup dancers with him, and to be honest, yeah, it didn't really necessarily impress me. It just felt like it felt like he was just him. It felt like the backup dancers were doing all the hard work for him, if that makes sense. It just didn't really like blow me away from honest with you. Um, but Sophia said that she thought the dancers were amazing, but she can't even remember him. Simon mentioned that he was bad but interesting. You stand out from every man who can't dance but they want to do it, which is a good thing. And Simon said, and Mel said that he put on a show and he voted yes. They all got he got 4 yes votes and he made it through to the deliberations round. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't that impressed with the performance. If I'm being totally honest, I still thought it was good, but at the same time, it was just quite meh, to be honest. It didn't necessarily blow me away, if I'm brutally honest, but still, it was still fine. I guess it was possible, but at the same time, I didn't really know what to make of it. So yeah, I doubt he's gonna make the live shows. What the judges are now, they do sometimes put some wacky acts into the live shows. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he actually did make it through, but well, guess we'll find out what happens. But while I don't want it to happen, at the same time, I just kind of hope he doesn't. But I have a feeling they might do it just for entertainment purposes. So that is episode 2 of America's Got Talent season 8, season 20. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Your thoughts on the episode. Who were your favourite acts? Your thoughts on the Golden Buzzer. And also, what are your thoughts on the season so far? Especially if it's 20th season. I'm really enjoying the season so far. I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm really liking all the acts so far. So, yeah, that's a good thing. But also, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, that's really it. Yeah, that's really it. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe with both notifications on. I would really appreciate that. But for now, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.